Welcome to the Bloom Where You're Planted podcast from Never Too Late Cafe. I'm your host, Laura Womack. Each week, we sit down for a chat with someone just like you, someone who had an idea, a passion, a dream, or sometimes just a thought, and planted that seed, watched it grow into something they wanted to share with the world. If you have an idea for a topic or someone that would be a guest for the Bloom Where You're Planted podcast, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, where you can join our Never Too Late Cafe Facebook group. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome back to part 2 of our episode with Lorraine Currelley. So, since you mentioned the Bronx Book Fair, are there other aspects besides presentations or panels? Is it also author tables and?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a featured open mic. We call all our poets features.
Okay.
So and what's largely referred to as an open mic, we do not call ours an open mic. We call ours community stage, because we think of ourselves in terms of community. So we just say, welcome to the community stage. So that means as a community, we're here together and we're performing together. So we just say, it's just a play on words. We just say community stage. But what we do, we also, they're so similar in many ways. The Bronx Book Fair, when we do our book fair, we have featured poets. We have a community stage. We have writing workshops. We invite other organizations in as panelists. We have featured guest speakers, and we invite the health community in as well. And so they're very similar and connected. So yeah, so what Poets Not an Exchange does, it's very similar to what the Bronx Book Fair does. But the Bronx Book Fair is known for being an annual event presented in the Bronx since 2013, and I became the executive and artistic director unanimously in 2017, and we've been growing and going strong since. We were not incorporated in the first years. But when I became the executive and artistic director, I made the decision that I was going to incorporate, because we are not an annual social gathering. We are a viable organization that does important work in our community, also both organizations advocating for literacy and reading. And for the Bronx Book Fair and Poets Network and Exchange, we are featured in an award-winning film for $1.5 million. We're very proud of that.
1.5 million?
Yes, it's produced and directed by filmmaker, let's say it's Hernandez. Oh my gosh, she's going to, it'll come, but it's last name, yes, filmmaker, his last name is Hernandez. It will come to me, and I apologize for skipping me. His first name skipping me now, but
can someone find it if they were to Google the title?
Yes, 1.5 million. Yes, they would absolutely be able to find it. Just be able to Google it. In fact, what I am going to do quickly, because I cannot, my my computer is up, so I'm Googling that as we speak, because that is
It won the
important.
Queens World Film Festival.
It also, does it also, let me see. Also, let's see, also, Gregory Hernandez.
Okay,
The most
awesome.
fabulous film director, Gregory Hernandez.
Awesome.
Hernandez.
So say again how that was, you guys were featured, your organization was featured, or
yes, we're one of the community, we are one of the Bronx community organizations featured in that film.
What an honor.
Yes, it was an honor. We believe that it was a testament to the important work that Poets Network and Exchange and the Bronx Book Fair is doing in our community to address reading and literacy and providing a space for community residents, authors, and poets to meet. And it's an environment for community members and authors and poets to not only meet, but to connect, and for the larger Bronx community to be aware of these phenomenal writers and poets that live in our borough. So it was a wonderful opportunity. It was just a wonderful opportunity to be involved in that monumental project. It's a project that I'm very supportive and proud of. He did a wonderful job, and so deserving of the honors and accolades that are bestowed on him. So we're all community. We're all very proud of him. A young man doing monumental and tremendous work.
That's awesome. So let's go back in your story. So we know what you're currently involved in and what you have in the last, say, decade or so. But what got you interested and so involved at this level of writing and poetry? I mean, go back as far as you want. Any influences that you had in your childhood or anything?
Oh, absolutely. My mother was a writer. My mother was a writer. My mother was an avid reader, and she made certain that her children had books. I grew up in a home where books were plentiful. We did not have a TV. We had books. And I thought everyone had books in their home. I thought everyone had hundreds of books because that was my surrounding. That's what I grew up with. Also, I had excellent teachers. We were in a segregated school in homes in the 50s. And we had, and they exposed us to a lot, and also family members, and particularly my cousin Louise. She was a nurse and a disease consultant, and she took us to a lot of literary and artistic events. That's where I learned about opera, where I really developed a love for opera, because she took us to different art presentations. But I've been writing since I was in the 5th grade, writing essays, participating in essay competitions representing my school. And I was writing poetry since the 5th grade, since I was a very young child. So this goes back to my childhood reading and writing and organizing events. I've been doing this and producing community programs since I was in my 20s and 30s, along with my brother Edward Currelley. We've been doing this. The date since 1978 comes to mind, when we really became engaged in producing for theater and performing arts groups. Yes, and I also founded a number of organizations like the St. Philip's Performing and Arts Center, Growing Theater, just a number. Okay, Poets Cafe. I'm a founder of. I founded numerous arts organizations for organizations, as well as my own. This is part of my early herstory. Part of my early herstory. Yes, I've been in this for quite a long time. When people think of me, especially the newer people, they're familiar with Poets Network and Exchange and the Bronx Book Fair. Those things are recent, but I've been in this for many years, over 40 years. I've been doing this work.
Wow.
Yes,
We'll have to mention
years.
all of your list of things that you founded in your notes, because that's very impressive, and the length of it, So then you were in, your background in education was mental health or counseling?
Well, my BS is in psychology and liberal arts. My master's, my MS is in mental health counseling. And then I went further. Once I graduated, I stayed on a year because they were offering certification and a specialization in grief and bereavement, better known as thanatology, the study of grief and bereavement. And so I stayed on for that. And what I did as well, I studied gerontology, which is a love of mine. And I hope, yes, and so I hope to do a combined degree of psychology and gerontology. I've been working on that area. I have a love for that, and I've often held workshops and was funded by organizations to host and curate poetry and creative writing workshops for elders, for seniors. I've been doing that for a number of years. So I have quite a bit of experience in the, not only the performing, curating, producing, and the workshop area, and working with seniors. I'm largely known for that as well, working with an older population. But we started, Poets Network and Exchange started as started as an organization that focused on, and is rooted and grounded in providing a safe and supportive writing space for seniors, for elders.
Oh,
that is, oh yes, and younger generations became interested and started attending our programs, and they just asked for can we be involved? Can we be involved? And we said, let's let the kids in. So we let them in, and so we've been intergenerational organization since. So we welcome all generations, but we make it very well known that was our main and remains our main focus, that space for us. Because I pay homage to the seniors, because that's how Poets Network and Exchange first got its start. I was invited to a senior residence to perform for Black History program, and they really enjoyed my presentation, and they asked me, after the program was over, a group of them asked me would I be interested in coming to their residence, which is gorgeous, and hosting a poetry and creative writing workshop. And I said I would. And I did that. I loved it. I did that for 2.5 years. No pay, nothing. 2.5 years, twice a week. I did that. It was a wonderful experience. And now many of the writers that came out of that workshop experience, they're writing, they're publishing, they're performing. Many have appeared on TV and radio, podcasts. I mean, they're really doing very, very well. And so after 2.5 years, I decided to found Poets Network and Exchange. And what I told them, I said, I have taught you all that I possibly can at this time. All of you, you are well aware of what to do. And so I turned over everything to them and left them to curate their programming, to do everything on their own. And they've been busy doing that ever since. And I'm so proud of them.
Well, twice a week is quite a commitment. Wow.
Oh.
That is a lot.
It is, especially traveling from where I travel using public transportation. I traveled from the Bronx to New Rochelle, New York. So that, I'd say both ways, I think about 4 hours. 4 hours. So with a total, I would say, of 8 hours a week doing that.
Oh my word.
I mean, just in travel, not to mention when I got there in the workshops for like 2 hours.
Oh my word.
So, but yes, it was a wonderful experience. And I learned a lot as a result of that. And it contributes greatly to who I am and what I am doing today. But it was so important. The wonderful thing about it, a lot of the residents who participated, quite a number of the residents who participated in the programming, they were writers. They were neighbors and they were writers, but they were not aware of what was going on. But the workshop brought them together. A lot of them were journalists and they were published in their work periodicals and they wrote for work. They did writing for work. It was just phenomenal. It was just phenomenal experience. But I call it, they were writing in isolation.
Mm. And you provided the community.
Yes. And it just blossomed.
That's very, very interesting that you were able to follow through and do that for such a long period of time. Like I said, quite a commitment. And then when you add on travel time, I know a lot about mass transit from New England. So, this podcast is called Bloom Where Planted. And I ask everyone what that means to them because it's different for everyone. So what does it mean?
For me, I love that. I love that question and I love that bloom where you're planted. I take that to mean what it means for me. Wherever you're at, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, trust yourself to create, to manifest it. Don't allow it to get away from you. Be confident because you can do it. You can do it. There are so many dreams and the people who took those dreams with them in death. Don't allow that to happen. So this means a lot. Bloom where you're planted, whatever your environment, you can do it. Don't allow any naysayers. You can do it. Just remember that. Create that as a mantra. I can do it. I can do it. Until you believe it yourself. I think this is such a beautiful expression bloom where you're planted. It says a lot. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of meat in this. And I'm sure I'm only touching the surface of it, but it has touched me emotionally. I love it. I love it.
Wonderful words.
It's lovely.
So, what words of wisdom I now call words of wisdom, um, would you offer someone that wants to do what you're doing or have done? What would you say to them?
My words of wisdom would be confident, do it regardless of your age. As long as you have the ability and you're breathing, whatever it is, regardless of age, you can do it. Do it. Do not allow anyone to stop you. I had someone say some very harsh words to me, and I respect you, Laura, and your audience. So I will not tell you what I told them as a response. But
okay, how family friendly.
Okay, but I will say it in a very kind, nice way. Okay, I just told them, and that's you. Maybe you don't have any ideas. Maybe you're blank. You have nothing to offer, nothing to give. But I see it. Do not allow anyone to direct you to the back of the bus. Whether your hair is salt and pepper or white, do it. Do it. And at the age of, and I will say this, I'm very proud of my age. At the age of 73, I'm still going, and I feel like I've only got started, and I've been doing this for years because there are so many ideas, so many things that I want to do, but I don't let them lie dormant. I get right into it and do it. So that would be my words of wisdom. I want to see everyone creating and manifesting their dreams, realizing their hopes and what they have in their heart. Bring it to fruition. It's very important. There is always someone, an audience for you who will embrace you. And by doing so, you're encouraging others who lack the confidence and feel intimidated only because someone told them, you can't do this. No. So I think that would be my words of wisdom. That comes to mind at this time.
So what is next for you? It seems like you're into, you're just going through life with more and more and full of life. So what is next for you?
Well, I don't know if I would say next, but what's happening? Okay, I'm in the process of publishing a number of books. My first collection of poems will hit the public in the very near future, along with other things that I am working on. I'm widely anthologized, but this will be the first time that a number of my personal books are being published. And we have poetry and various genres of writing, which I cannot divulge now because of my publisher, but I can share the one that's going to be my first collection of poems. But I will be addressing academic things that I'm involved in, academic writing. As an academic, I'm in a number of, I contribute to a number of studies that I'm very, very proud of, that and you can find them and a book is called Omega Publications, where I took over 20. I'm very proud of that. It brought me to my knees. I took over 20 years of 20 years of writing. This is all in the mental health field. 20 years of in-depth field. I took my contribution was taking 20 years of writing in this area and turning those into numbers, statistics. Have you ever tried to turn writing into numbers?
No, not me.
It's the most difficult and challenging thing. I cried all through it. It took a year. If someone said, this is a bluebird, that's just a very poor example, but I had to take it and turn that into numbers statistically.
Wow, that is very interesting. Well, it's been a wonderful time chatting with you about all of your work, your projects, your experience. And I look forward to that list of the groups that you have founded and anything that you want to include, because it's just very interesting to know some of your history. So
I would love to share that with you. And it's been wonderful, Laura Womack. It's just been a wonderful experience for me, conversing with you, sharing about myself and your questions. Woo! You're tough.
thought I was pretty easy on questions.
One thing I can tell anyone, if it's anyone that I know, be prepared. I said know what you want to discuss, because this Laura Womack is ready for you. And there's no escaping. So be ready. That's what I need to say. It's just been, not only it's been challenging, but it's been a lot of fun. And I can't think of a better way to spend the start of my day, other than waking up alive. Waking up to see another, spending a wonderful hour with you and your lovely audience. So this has been a pleasure for me, just a joy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you again. And as we end our time together, I just want to say it's been an honor for me as well. So bye, Lorraine. Thank you.
Bye, Laura. And thank you.
So as our time comes to a close, remember to keep creating, keep sharing, and keep supporting each other. And remember to bloom where you're planted. Bye for now.